I have spent the last year testing every study hack that I could find. Pomodoro, active recall, Feynman's technique, and 100 other more. And after 1 year of testing study hacks, these are the few tactics that work every single time for me. Whether you're cramming for finals or just trying to stay focused, these tactics will save you hours of wasted effort. And so, let's start with a tactic that has never failed me once. Building a study den. Back then, I used to get distracted constantly. Hunger, boredom, notifications, and everything else. But once I designed a specific room for studying, I started to work 3 times longer. Why? Because when you scroll, eat, and work in the exact same spot, your brain gets confused. It doesn't know whether it's time to focus or time to chill. But when you walk into a room that's nothing but paper and pencil, you're sending your brain a message. This is where we work. It's way easier than trying to grind with a phone buzzing beside you, a podcast running in the background, and cold fries on the desk from last night. Your brain recognizes patterns between your actions and your environment. If you want to guarantee that you are less distracted and more focused, then keep your actions consistent. The more times you study in the same space, the stronger the habit gets. It becomes almost automatic, like muscle memory for your brain. And if I'm really struggling to focus, sometimes just being in my study space resets my brain, because it remembers what we came here to do. And at the very least, it's a better alternative than doing homework in bed and falling asleep or binging TikTok. Even if you don't have a whole room dedicated to studying, just one corner of your desk is enough to train your brain to adapt to a new environment. It's not about having a fancy place, it's about having an environment that matches your intentions. Another trick that I've been using ever since September of 2024 has been double layering my notes. And pay close attention because most of you are writing notes in the wrong way. I used to just jot rough notes into a notebook and call it note-taking. But when you only rely on rough notes, 3 things usually happen. 1. You quickly forget the concept and keep needing to revisit your old notes. 2. You realize that they kinda help, but not actually enough to solve the real problems. And worst of all, they're messy, hard to read, and you forget where you even wrote that one chapter from last week. The truth is, rough notes don't help you memorize anything. They just make you more dependent on them and punish you for not writing clearly the first time. And that's why I always write 2 copies, rough notes and good notes. And yeah, it takes longer, but rewriting the notes and being intentional with every step and explaining every step, I memorize the information 10 times faster than randomly scribbling on a piece of paper and rereading it, praying that I'll get it the first time. And so I'm telling you right now, double layering your notes does 2 things. The first thing is that by spending more time writing these notes and carefully explaining each step, you naturally think about it more and you end up memorizing it faster anyways because you're thinking so hard about breaking these notes down into properly digestible instructions. The second thing is, now that you have done that, you have an actual reliable reference source that you can come back to without being confused every single time because you spent so much time. And even if you don't have enough time in class to write up good notes, do it at home or do it when you got free time. It's a little bit of extra work for faster memorization, and that's a trade I'm willing to make every single time. So, rough notes are for catching ideas fast, good notes are for remembering them forever. And if you're not sure how to write your notes, I've got a special video just for that right here. Aside from taking really good notes and isolating your study space, one trick that has saved me countless hours has been writing a topic sheet. It's basically a 1-page summary of all the topics that you need to study for an exam. Before using a topic sheet, studying felt like a never-ending chore. You sit down, you open your book, and start flipping through pages without knowing what you're actually even aiming for. It feels like you're just slamming your head against the wall, hoping that something sticks. But when you use a topic sheet, studying becomes more like a game with clear levels. It turns studying from this huge, vague monster into a bunch of small, beatable bosses. And honestly, this study hack has kept me motivated, helped me keep track of my own progress so I'm more organized, and also just make me less overwhelmed when I've got all these big exams coming down at me. And lastly, the final tactic that I've personally been using this past year has been what I call the roulette method. Forget about all the fancy names like the Feynman technique and active recall for a sec and just focus on this. There are 4 basic ways to study: solving problems, teaching others, reciting information, and writing information. During any study session, I try to use at least 2 of these, and that is the roulette method, using multiple methods while studying. Why? Because switching between speaking and writing and all the other different study methods keeps your brain engaged so you can study longer, and it forces you to apply your knowledge in different ways. And no, you don't need another person to use the teaching method. Sometimes I'll just record myself or just talk to a wall.
Even though it sounds kind of sad, it still works, okay?
And the truth is, unless you've got unshakable discipline or you've been studying for a very long time, it's really hard to sit and study the same way for hours. But if you treat studying like a mental roulette, switching up how you review, you will stay sharp, energized, and way more productive. And so there you go. These are the 4 study tactics that I'm going to stick with after testing every hack that I could find over the past year. 1. Building a study den. 2. Being able to double layer your notes. 3. Being able to switch up your study methods using the roulette method. And 4. Being able to create a topic sheet so you organize your studying and streamline the process. I'm going to use these for every single major exam that I have in the future, and I'm not going to stop anytime soon. If you like this video, then you're probably going to like this one too, where I discuss how to stay focused and make sure you're able to implement all of these study tactics.